Coach Mike Murphy, Ryan Walsh, Chase Whittick, right here. Coach, a quick comment.
I'm just proud of my players. You know, you get to this time of the year, there's only going to be one team that's ever going to end their season with a victory. So, you know, I can't be, more proud of the 48 guys that are in our locker room right now. You know, my senior class started this thing in the NCAA tournament, back in 2012, and to end it in the NCAA tournament is a credit to them. The guy sitting to my left, in number 10, great leadership from our seniors, and it just shows you what this program's all about.
Questions for the players?
Guys, they got off to a little bit of a start, 3-1, but then you guys talk about the pace of play for you guys offensively early on, and how that progressed through the game. It looked like it actually flowed. You hit some peaks, but you hit some valleys too. Can you talk a little bit about that starting off, and you can trade back and forth, whatever's easier between you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, early in the game, I think we were played a little sluggish. Thought things would come easy, and then once we started making them work, having longer possessions, guys were finding creases inside. Guys were wide open for dunks, for easy offense. And I think when times when we hit lulls were times where we just careless turnovers or guys trying to do too much. I mean, but guys, big game, guys are trying to make plays. It's going to happen. So.
When you were making your runs, what were you seeing with the defense? You started getting inside and getting those dunks, and that was the effective part. Is that something that you consciously found and wanted to pick apart at, or just kind of read and react as it came?
We just read and react, just go through our offense, and when we're playing fast, playing well, things happen, and get that shot in front of the goal on the doorstep, and that's what we're going for.
Chase, Coach thought this might be a game you could have an impact. What was it about the matchup for you?
I know a few guys on the team. I just kind of wanted to come out and play hard. I didn't want to be our last game with the seniors, so I just tried to do my best to make it like that.
Ryan, talk about your stretch run. You had 19, 20 goals in the last 6 games. You played a terrific season, but a really good end to the season.
What did you do in the first bunch?
What's that?
I said, what did you do in the first bunch?
Yeah, exactly. No, it was just a credit to my teammates. I mean, we just played so efficient offensively this year. I mean, it's no secret we didn't have the ball much. Face-off guys were busting their butt. But I mean, just the way it fell, we didn't have the ball much this year. Forced us to be more efficient offensively. We had to finish the ball more, less turnovers. I think as a player, that I kind of had to adjust to that, and as the season progressed on, bought in, and it showed. I was getting easy looks because my teammates were making great plays. So, I just think it was just credit to Coach Abbott and the offensive coaches and Coach Murph and the guys making plays. So.
How did you guys work? Looking at the numbers coming in off the draw, the numbers look low, obviously, and I know you had face-off man that was injured during the season and so forth. And you guys, how did you overcome such a low face-off win percentage to get the ball as much as you did and still be successful? Chase?
I mean, just great defense, great team defense, and Brandon Burke also plays great in the goal, so that helps a lot. And then our wing guys, I guess, just picking up ground balls. Coach Murphy always puts big importance on ground balls, and that usually helps us get the ball back, and so we can then capitalize on offense.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about your keeper? I mean, 5 saves first quarter keeps you guys in it, keeps going. I mean, was that the theme with him all year?
Oh yeah, I mean, before the game, each game, Coach draws diagram, fills in the paint with colors in black, and says if we force outside shots, he's going to make saves. And I don't know how many saves he had today, but he had a lot, and he's been having a lot. He's been great for us, energetic, great leader down on the defensive end, and without him, he won our defensive MVP because he just keeps us in games. He takes 4 or 5 goals off the board every game, so you can't replace him, and he's a great guy. Defense loves him, so yeah.
Anything else for the players? You guys are good to go. Thank you. So, questions for Coach?
Coach, defensively, it looked like you went back into a, correct me if I'm wrong, from a man to a zone, back to a man, and it looked like the effective return to man in the second half really got you guys spurred on that comeback. But can you talk a little bit about why the transitions and why you made them and when and what worked and what didn't until you found that?
I think just to keep them guessing. You know, they're a very gifted offensive team, but you know, you look at that third quarter where we started to make our run, and you know, Chase made mention of it. It comes down to ground balls. You know, any time that you play a team that has the athleticism that North Carolina does, it comes down to the little plays. That's what we talked about our team all week long. Is just we got to make fundamental plays. You know, and we struggled there. You look at the big quarter that they had. You know, that second quarter, they out ground balled us 14-6. So that allows them to extend possessions. It allowed us to not, you know, be one and done. And we had a couple opportunities on face-off wins. I thought Alex was great, you know, coming off the injury, and I don't know, we didn't do a good service there of coming up with some loose balls. And you look at a game like this, it's going to be, you know, two good teams that are playing. It's going to come down to the fundamentals. And they out-fundamental us today in the ground balls. I mean, you know, 43-28, that's just extra possessions for them offensively and not enough possessions for us offensively.
I got another one. When we're talking about face-offs, obviously, getting through, was it the defense entirely through the season, like Ryan was talking about, that helped you guys? I think Chase said it, about getting the ball back to the offense, even though not winning face-offs. You knew you were going up against a guy like Kelly that, you know, was going to win a fair share.
Mm-hmm.
Neely did well, but when you lost it, what was that key? Just getting that strong.
Again, ground balls. You know, I thought Alex did a really good job, and you go watch the film, and we just missed a lot of ground balls. And we knew that going in, you know. Steven is very athletic. You know, his save percentage isn't, you know, he's below 50%, but he does a great job of potentially losing the draw, but then they come up with a ground ball situation, and I hate to make it, you know, that simple, but it really is. You know, you go back and you really squint at the game, it was a possession game, because I think we were doing a pretty good job of scoring when we had the ball, and so were they. So we needed to, you know, and we were getting the saves, and we had the recipe to beat a team like North Carolina. You get your goalie into the teens. You know, and I've been in part of some games in the NCAA tournament, you know, at my former job, you know, where you got to get your goal. You play an ACC level team that can shoot the ball like Carolina does, or like some of the other teams. Your goalie has to be a player, and he's got to be able to keep you in the ball game. And I think Brandon did, you know, he did a great job of that. 14 saves. You can't sniff at that. So, you know, I'm proud of him. You talk about the face-off, you know, throughout the course of the season, you know, we just battled. And it was a situation where we didn't want to give up offense off of a face-off play in transition, so we did a good job of that. And Chase and Ryan made a good point with, you know, you force those teams to make some rush decisions when they've got maybe 6 guys up to your 5, and you make saves and you turn, you know, potentially face-off losses into face-off wins.